Good morning, Vietnam. Where is Robin Williams when we meet him? Yeah, so we salute him wherever he is on his journey. So welcome. My name is Rebecca Victor, and I am one of the practitioners here, the licensed practitioners. And I make that distinction because any of us who have studied these principles and practiced these prayers are, in fact, practitioners. We become licensed when we move through a process of study to actually make sure that we can be not only available for ourselves, but present for others who are seeking prayer. So I'm a licensed practitioner. So, welcome to Center of Spiritual Living, Greater Dayton. We're glad to have you here today. Thank you for gracing with us with your presence. On your bulletin, there is a cover. The bulletin cover, there's a little tear-off sheet. And if you're new, if you'd like, fill it out. And then we'd be happy if you're interested to share. Reverend Cece sends out on Wednesdays an occasional email of inspiration, and you can go ahead and get that from her. And if you also have questions, we will have representatives at the Welcome Center there to answer any that you may have and give you whatever information that you would like so that you learn a little bit more if this is intriguing to you. So our visual holder this morning is going to be, it actually is, Lenza. And our interfaith candle lighting is going to be done by Carol and by Lana. So Carol will do the actual lighting of the candles and Lana will read for us. You see, we draw and honor information from all the world's religions and traditions. And we do this and we honor this through the interfaith candle lighting, because it reminds us of that there are many sources of wisdom throughout the world, that the face of God shows up in all kinds of ways, with all kinds of words. And so, today is play day outside in the garden for our children. So any of the youth who are interested in participating in that are welcome to join Mark and Linda as they go out and play in the garden. So Mark and Linda, would you be willing to? Okay. Okay, well, you know what? It might be a quiet experience today.
We light the first candle to honor Judaism. Every person possesses one valuable trait that cannot be found in any other. We light the second candle to honor Islam. If we are to emerge from the long shadows that can engulf us, we must talk with each other, come to understand each other, and renew ourselves and our perceptions of each other. We light the third candle to honor Christianity. The whole idea of compassion is based on a keen awareness of the interdependence of all these living beings, which are all part of one another and all involved in one another. We light the fourth candle to honor Buddhism. Unceasing change turns the wheel of life, and so reality is shown in all its many forms. We light the fifth candle to honor indigenous religions. Since the beginning, Native peoples lived a life of being in harmony with all that surrounds us. It is a belief that all humankind are related to each other. Each has a purpose, spirit, and sacredness. We light the sixth candle to honor Hinduism. All differences in this world are of degree and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything. We light the final candle to honor New Thought. Behind all is a unity. Permeating all is diversity. Saturating all is divinity. From racism to Gracism, the theme for July Open Communication. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unnamed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. Martin Luther King Jr. Love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be ignored. To the extent that we abandon love, we will feel it has abandoned us. Denying love is our only problem, and embracing it is the only answer. Through the power of love, we can let go of past history and begin again. Love heals, forgives, and makes whole. Ernest Holmes. If you can just take these words into that inner sacred place for a few minutes of contemplation. So how good it is to be anchored in this power of God right here and right now, that this love that emanates through us, as us, and around us, that is that power of God, that power of transformation, that power of enlightenment, that power of magnificence that is through us, as us, and around us. And so I know that same power is embedded within every cell of our body with this divine design of energy. And I know that that same power is orchestrating this service today. I know that for Becky, as this sermon just comes effortlessly and easily through her as her, and it is the voice of spirit that moves through her. And so I know that for the band and for the children and every single person that walks through this door, that we feel that love and light of God. It is palpable. It is that energy of truth, that energy of light. And so I say, thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. All right. Becky, yay, I get to introduce Becky. Practitioner, we graduated in 1999 together. I know that you hold a degree. I don't know what it is. I forget what it's in.
That's okay.
Okay, never mind. I don't have anything to read off of up here. She's also a life coach, does many workshops, and has been with us for, how long have you been? Since 1995, and has always been up here singing. So please welcome Becky Victor.
It's great to be up here. So, from racism to Gracism. It's been an interesting week trying to put together a talk for racism to Gracism. It's not one of the easiest things for me to talk about, especially with respect to open communication. Because instead of being allowed to see who it is that I see and the beauty that I see, I have to talk about the way we're separate. And I don't like it, because it's not what I see. And so there was a struggle inside of me. Should I go ahead and speak as everybody else says I should speak about this? Should I stand up defiant? Should I stand up and do whatever? And it's like, you know what? I want to affect change one relationship at a time. I want to love one relationship at a time. I want to do it my way, so that I can love and honor and respect who it is that stands in front of me as the unique expression of the divine that they are. Not as a group, not as a color, an ethnicity, a religion, a culture, but as a being. Standing before me, like me before them, both of us, wanting to learn what it is to be who it is that we are, to express more fully, more radiantly, within our own lives, to experience what it is to be God incarnate. Now that can be a scary proposition, because most of us will often see this entity of God as so massive as how can we consider to be it incarnate? But yet, if we profess that God is indeed all there is, that which is life itself is indeed all there is, how could it not be? How could it not be that each and every one of us walks as divinity who has intended to be in this moment, each of us, each and every one of us, magnificent, with the opportunity to experience and embrace life in this form, but also knowing that this form is just a form. The truth of who it is that we are transcends this form. And the time that we come here, we begin to learn about that. And the time that we come here, we learn tools and ways such as meditation, mindfulness practices that allow us to disengage from the eyes and the perceptions of the world that being a part of society is we connect with, so that we can pause long enough to realize, oh, there is something more wonderful about me. There's something beautiful here. There's something beautiful that I'm a part of, that when I transcend, I'm aware of, part of. And this concept of what I am as Becky or as anybody no longer exists. It's part, but all of a sudden there's more. That's what I speak to. That's what I want to claim. That's what I want to address. And in the process of addressing that, if I see somebody in anguish because they've had to deal with the repercussions of oppression, that I can be present as the tears flow and the anger spills, so that I can be that space and place to let it be long enough so that what can be experienced as it's gone is the opportunity to really to touch who it is that they are. Because you see, people have done that for me. People have done that and been that space and place for me long enough where I've expressed the anguish. And oftentimes, not even just oppression somebody else, but the fact that I accepted it and I carried it and I took it on and I wore it with pride, let me tell you. And I got tired of it and said, this isn't who I am. And whatever you tell me about who I am, it's not. This is who I am. And I don't even know who that is yet. I'm still discovering that. This is how I'm expressing in the world, but who and what I am is more. But thank you for being present to witness me beyond the pain, beyond the fear, into the beauty of my being. And to me, that is what it means to move from this idea of racism, which is focused externally, into a Gracism, which is the realization of the love that is actually present in all creation. And it is present within each and every one of us. To celebrate it, to delight in it, to experience the wonder of it. The fact that there's so much variety. It's like, wow, how cool is that? I get to see something in a way I've never seen it before. To experience it and touch it in a way that says, wow, this thing that I'm part of is like pretty incredible. But oftentimes, what happens in the process of working through this, the person is so different that we try to figure out, is there a threat? Which is kind of where the brain processes. It moves to consider threat. And so in order to protect, we put up the walls, we label, we respond to that mental directive, which is bent on survival, because we think that the difference may be a threat. But in reality, it may or may not be physically. I don't know. But if we give ourselves the opportunity in this space to tap into the sacred aspect of our being, that which is more, then something else gets the chance to emerge within us. An awareness, an understanding, something else that helps to attend to and deal with the situation that we're involved in, whatever it is. I think of Viktor Frankl. I think I've asked this question before, but I'm not sure. How many are familiar with Viktor Frankl? He wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl was a neurobiologist and a psychiatrist who back in the 40s was incarcerated in a concentration camp. Literally stripped of everything because he was Jewish. Because the individual was an authority for whatever reason felt that that was a threat. And literally, as we look at, the conditions were such that were just horrible. No way around it. I can't even begin to comprehend that. But what was amazing when I read his book And then when I review his quotes, he talked about the fact that there were people in this camp that with the very little food they got, and they didn't get much, walked around wanting to see if everybody was okay. And not only did they walk around to see if everybody was okay, they gave them their food. They gave them what they had. And he himself lost his wife. He himself had his life's work stripped of it, burned, bare naked, standing in front of a group of individuals mocking him, taking his last vestige of his connection with his wife. And all he knew was that no matter what you do to me, I am a choice. I am a choice. You cannot make me choose what within my heart I do not want to choose. You cannot make me hate you. And so he wrote about that. He wrote about the power of our ability to transcend the conditions of our lives, to realize that always we are at choice. And therein lies our authority. And in that choice, because we talk about that in our community, we are at choice. And what does it mean? What does it mean? The power of our thought to affect change in our lives. Well, because of that, this man had the capacity to survive those conditions when others did not. And he wrote about it. And he gave us the opportunity to see again, no matter what conditions may lie in our lives, we are at choice as to what we want to do with them. And when we start to make choices that support what it is that we are inside, that when we make that decision causes us within to expand, to open up as if we are this blossoming flower, this expansive being. Even in the midst of crushingness is this expansion within. That's powerful. Because it's from that space and place that we can create anew. There was a gentleman, his name was William Powell. And William Powell was a World War II veteran. And he, before he left, he moved from Greenville, Alabama up to Minerva, Ohio. And he loved golf. He grew up golfing in school. And when he went to the war, part of his opportunity when he was in the European front is he got the opportunity to play on all the different British golf courses. And he loved it. And when he came home after the war, he was excited because he was looking forward to resuming his golfing career. And when he went to go golf, he was refused entrance because of the color of his skin. Now, he had a choice. And the choice he made was this: oh, well, I'll make my own golf course. And so he went to do that. And first he was refused any loan opportunities to buy the land that he needed. And so you would think that that would crush. And in the process of creating dreams we talk about, because sometimes we step forward and the things we work for don't happen right away. And so we get stuck in the fact that all of a sudden it appears as if a door has risen. No, there's another path. Try again. And so he did. And in the process, he met two physicians, African-American physicians, who invested in it with him. And then his brother said, I will loan you the money. And so he bought 78 or 76 acres of dairy farmland. And he built his golf course in 1948. And what was so wonderful about this was that he built an integrated golf course. His decision, his choice. And that golf course became an opportunity for him as a man to step in and create a new vision for his children and his family. That you have the capacity and the power to do what it is that you want in your life, regardless of the circumstances that show themselves. Sometimes it's hard. But again, that's where we have to go in and do our practice to remember, because that is where our strength lies. Not in the conditions and the manipulating of them, because they can always change. And when that happens, our power seems to kind of go away because the conditions are changing. So what he did is he did that. His daughter became the second African-American woman to be the LPGA champion. She was on the LPGA circuit. I don't know if she was a champion or not, but she was on the circuit. To me, she's a champion. But anyway, her name is Renee Powell. And so what is she doing today? She's the golf pro at the golf course. His son is the superintendent of grounds, takes care of the land. A new vision, a new way, passing it along to his grandchildren. Because he didn't buy into someone else's perception of who and what he was. Neither did Viktor Frankl. Neither did all those people who have been incarcerated, stepping forward. So moving from racism to Gracism is moving into the experience of loving ourselves enough that it's not about trying to manipulate another human being. Because somewhere along the line, if we do it, it's going to make us feel better. When we are anchored in the truth of the love of our own being, there is no space and place for that. There just isn't. That didn't even register on the Richter scale here. So our work is about loving ourselves, creating space to be gentle, especially when we're stepping out in big dreams and we're not quite sure how it's going to unfold. To do our work, to help and support what we need to do, but to keep connected to what matters in our lives. Giving it the opportunity to grow and evolve in the way it needs to do. To embrace and allow that love that we are to express itself in the world in ways that bring us joy. To appreciate that in others. That's grace. Grace is love. That's simply all it is. It's the giving of love, and it cannot help but be given. And it's who we are, and it's what we are. And I wanted to finish up this talk when we're looking at it. So when we're looking, remember the people that are sitting here now looking, we've grown up through a series of teachings. We've grown up in a society that has conditions, has beliefs, has ideas. Whether we agree or not with them, they don't, and we have been influenced by them. But whether we've been influenced by them or not, we are at choice. We can choose again. And when we're making choices and we're in a space and place where it's difficult because the people around are making different choices, then what do we need to do? We need to find another group of people to connect with that are following the choices that we're making. Not to make bad the people who are making different choices. That's their journey and it's none of our business. But it's to pay attention to our own, to connect with those people that together can strengthen and we can grow and support one another in that and create the opportunity and freedom for people to do likewise. So what I wanted to do before I go into prayer, I wanted to share this little clip, and it's a video, and some of it's going to be lost because you really have to see it. But I want to share this video because I want to remind us of ourselves and who we are. That was most noticeable when we were little, when we were children. And this is a video. How many of you are on Facebook? Okay, well, even if you're not, how many of you are on computer? Okay, well, there's this great little video that was for a British TV show for children. And so they asked these children, what makes you different? And it is an absolute hoot when you watch these kids because they're like looking at the person like they've got 9 heads. And my favorite were these 2 little boys that even throughout the entire time couldn't figure out how they were different. Could not in a heartbeat. And what was so much fun about it was that there was obvious differences. That as adults, as we look at it, we could tell the difference. Male, female, short, tall, black, white, Asian, Caucasian, all kinds, different hair colors. All different. People who, there was one little girl that has Down syndrome and another didn't. None of that. One in a wheelchair and one not. Absolutely nothing to do with any of that. But as adults, we become aware of those things, don't we? So I want to share this video with you via audio, just to help us tap in and to remember, there's a truth about us that still exists, that we can give space to and have fun with. So are you game?
Yep.
All right. If you want to see it, oops. as they fall flat. Well, state that. No. I wish you could see these two little boys. They're in red shirts. They're like, and they're trying so hard. Even they tried to figure out if their height was different. Nope. I mean, just at a puzzle. And so you'll hear a couple of pauses in the video because they don't have an answer. So let me know if you can hear. Can you hear?
Uh-huh.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
What makes you two different from each other?
I used to not like letters, but now I like letters.
I do not like
Lucy loved tomato sauce, and I do like it, but I don't love it as much as Lucy. Don't have the same. Our office is down the hill, and I live up the hill. No, I have smaller toes than Artie. And I like fish and chips, and I like sushi. And they're different. He never stops talking. We're different, huh? Listen, doesn't have squirrels in the roof.
Squirrels.
We have squirrels in the roof, so we can't watch television that much because it's biting all the wires. Oh. I'm good at gymnastics and Kaylee May is good at swimming. I'm not good at dancing. I am. You're a defender and I'm a defender. No, I'm not anymore. I used to be, but I'm not. No, we're not. Good at captain and I'm good at hiding. And Matthew's good at Tig. And Matthew's good at staying in den.
When it comes to difference, children see things differently.
Do you have anything else?
Because do you have anything else to say? So I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. You know, really just the joy of remembering when there really weren't very many differences. Or what was noticed really wasn't considered a difference, you know, but just a variety, a joy. And so let's get together here in a prayer. So we get the opportunity to open to the love that we are, to let that be the presence that we bring within our lives and into the world. To allow grace to be. And so I give thanks to the source of my life. I give thanks to this source that has so lovingly been with me through my journey of doubt, of fear, of questioning, waiting long enough for me to settle, to create the space to hear the message, the love, to remind me yet again of who it is that I am. I'm grateful because I know that that source that loves, that simply is, more than I can possibly conceive in this life, is that which is also expressing itself, loving being, in, as, and through each and every individual within our community, within the world, within all life. And I know that we radiate that life. Whether we are aware of it or not, whether we make the choice to serve the love or to serve the fear, it doesn't change the fact of who it is and what it is that we are. And so I know always this truth of love rests at the center of each and every one of our beings, being for us exactly what it is that we need to live this life with joy, peace, freedom, love, and prosperity. I give thanks. I give thanks for this presence. for this truth and for the awareness of it, and how delightful it is to witness it in so many unique and wonderful ways. And it is in this gratitude that that which I have spoken I release, letting it be so. And I ask that you join me together as we say, and so it is. I'm going to call Lana up to do that. Yeah. What do you got?
So now we're just going to do our joyous giving. So I need all of the people coming up for that. We now have an opportunity to support each other as we support to this community. Your generosity makes it possible for us to provide connection, spiritual education, and transformation. We are so grateful for your support. Will you take your gift in your hand and in your hearts and affirm with me? I am joyful.
I am joyful.
I am free.
I am free.
I am grateful.
I am grateful.
I give with gratitude.
I give with gratitude.
And I say yes
And I say yes
to all the good life has to offer.
to all the good life has to offer.
And so it is. All right, announcements and opportunities. Wow, I can't see that. Okay, anyway. It's even bold print, but anyway. So if you're able to help with the video camera, obviously we've had problems with it because no one showed us. But anyway, so apparently it just involves putting it on the tripod and pressing the red record button. I don't know, but anyhow, it hasn't worked too well. So see Stephanie Stewart, she's not here, or Jerry. I guess Jerry knows how to do it. No, Jerry's shaking her head. So maybe not ask Jerry. Okay.
Anybody's interested today, let me know because I can show you.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm glad that someone knows. That's always good. Our food bank drive is going very well. Donations to the food bank drop off a great deal during the warmer months, and donations are very much needed. We've delivered 1 barrel already, which is great, and the second one is now full. Yay! Yay! It's always good. We have additional barrels for non-food items like paper towels, soap, shampoo, diapers, pet food. Always forget about those things. If you have any donations today that they won't fit in the barrels, just set them on the floor by the barrels. Clara will take care of it tomorrow. You can still bring in items after today. The barrels will be moved to the social hall this week. If your bulletin is a flyer about the food drive, and on the other, in your bulletin, I'm sorry, I'm not reading well today. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, in your bulletin is a flyer about the food drive, and on the other side is a list of most needed items. You can continue to bring items in this all summer long, apparently. Our annual canoe kayak outing and picnic is coming up on July 22nd. We typically have 30 to 40 people out on the river in the morning, then gather at the Bellbrook Canoe Rental Picnic Shelter for a big potluck lunch. Details in your bulletin calendar. Sign up on the bulletin board, I believe, is back there by the Welcome Center.
If you can do that, that helps Kelly when she goes to register for everybody. And you are welcome to bring guests who are not part of the center. And people you want to canoe or hire.
Oh, yeah,
You
absolutely.
need about like 10 or 12 to get the discount.
Oh, good. Okay, so please sign up over there. You'll see it where all that is. So also there's details available on our Facebook page. So take a look at the last page of the bulletin and search for the calendar of all the upcoming events. There is a lot happening. And so too, if you would like prayer after service, us as licensed practitioners would love to pray with you. You can just look for us with the white or the teal, whatever, shawls, and ask for a prayer. So also, too, there's a prayer request in the back with the little box that I always get all of those, and I put them on to all the practitioners. So we pray on that. I don't know, maybe for a week. I don't know, depends. So everybody, for the first 3 minutes after the service ends, don't talk to anyone or that you actually know. Well, what is wrong with me today? Anyway, find someone you don't know well and start a conversation. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll just stick with the whole script here. And don't forget to get at least 10 hugs before you leave. Thanks to everybody who made this morning's service possible. Our ushers, greeters, practitioners, welcome team, the Higher Mind Band, and also you. So please stand for our closing affirmation. And then our closing song will be Stand. Hey, all right.
We'll be there.
We'll already be standing, so it'll be good.
On holy ground.
Oh, it's holy ground. Never mind. It's not stand. It's holy ground. It's not in here. Apparently, I didn't get the email. Okay, so you're going to repeat after me. I consciously choose the highest vision.
I consciously choose the highest vision.
For myself and my life.
For myself and my life.
I align my actions.
I align my actions
with my values.
with my values.
And allow the vision to unfold in magnificence.
And allow the vision to unfold in magnificence.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right.